The 11th annual Japanese Classic Car Show. It's on. It's happening today. All right, here's a pretty interesting car you never, ever see. Look at this thing right here. Here's a Toyota Tercel. This is an SR5 4x4 wagon. Check this thing out. With the big push bar, the driving lights on the front. It sits up high. It's four-wheel drive. When have you ever seen one of these? I don't even think back in the 80s, whenever this car came out, in 84 that you even saw this car. I think one of the coolest parts, though, is this interior. Look inside this car. Look at the interior of this thing. So classic 80s. I mean, this is 1984 if you've ever seen it. It's 1984 smell-wise, it's 1984 look-wise. Just look at that plaid interior. Awesome, awesome. This car is so unique, so original, you just don't ever see this anywhere. Very, very interesting. You know, last year I talked a little bit about these collaborations that went on in the 70s. Mitsubishi and Dodge. This is the Chrysler Dodge and Mitsubishi. This is a Colt right here. Look at this car. I don't know, it reminds you of a Comet from those years. It reminds you of kind of like a Pacer from those years. But this is a Dodge, and this was built in collaboration with Mitsubishi. Probably has a Mitsubishi drivetrain in it, which probably at that time was a pretty darn good thing, because Dodge engines back in those days, I don't know, I probably would have taken the Mitsubishi. Anyway, very rare car. I don't think you're going to see too many. Oh, is that one next to it there too? Yeah, might have a couple of them here, but definitely not that many of these. You never see them around. You know, I've been focusing a lot on Nissan. I have a lot of Nissans. It just happened to wind up that way. But I got to tell you, the more and more I look at these cars right here, this is a Sprinter. This is a right-hand drive. You have over here Corollas. These early Corollas, these early Sprinters, the cars like this, they are so cool, so much fun. I think this is one of my next projects I'm going to get into one of these days, looking at some of these cars. Let's take a look at some of these right here. This is branded with 11 brand, which is out of Japan. It's a Corolla. It's a left-hand drive, right-hand drive. You have another left-hand drive over here. But look at how cool these cars are. They're small, short wheelbase, compact, and what's really cool about them is, you see, you can still dress them up with the fender flares. You could still tune your engines, come up with something very cool like this. This guy's got a lot of work under the hood of the car. Really, really cool stuff. This is a 72 Toyota Corolla. I mean, Corolla, I think probably in Japan at that time they were called 11s. I don't know much about them. I plan on learning more, and one of these days I'd love to build one of these things. I like that orange and black. Very cool. Look at this car. Wide front fenders, wide rear fenders, customized hood. I mean, this doesn't look like your average Z, and I've never seen one before. I've been reading about it. It's called a Kaminari. In English, I know a lot of people want to say the Kaminari or whatever you want to say. Kaminari. That's how it's pronounced. Kaminari. This means lightning, by the way, or thunder. And this car is a custom car. It says that this car was customized in the early 80s for this, and they're actually calling it the first wide body car from that time. It is wide, it is different. I don't think you're going to see another one, and it's for sale too right here. They're asking 11.5 or best offer. What a cool looking car. Definitely the only one like it, I think, at this show right now, for sure. You know, there's little question what Japanese sports car had one of the biggest impacts on the American scene back in the 70s, and that has got to be the Nissan Z, the 240, the 260, the 280. When you come to a show like this, it's pretty apparent that that car has not lost its popularity even today. There is more Zs in this one area than probably any other car, single car in this entire show. There's even more Zs back where we're heading to in a second, but just look at this. I mean, you've got 240s, you've got 260s, you've got, most of them are left-hand drives because there were tons of them here sold in the United States, but look at the selection, look at how many there are, and look at how everybody kind of individually does their Z to their own taste. You've got them two-toned, you've got carbon-type hoods, you've got them in a wide variety of colors, you've got them with over fenders, you've got them without fenders, you've got the American-style old bumpers on them, you've got bumpers that were changed out. It's totally different. You can totally see what an impact that the Z, the 240, going forward, the Nissan Z has had on the United States and outside around the world as the Japanese sports cars, Japanese true sports car, proper sports car, as the British like to say. Check these out. And look what everybody does. They spend a lot of time and a lot of money on their car. There's a lot of money under the hood of this car. Check it out. Man, somebody spent some time and spent a lot of money putting these things together, but the Z's don't end. There's got to be 30, 40 Z's here alone. Still, more Z's.
ビデオに関してのお問い合わせはご覧のメールアドレスまで。チャンネル登録もよろしく